What's up YouTube? It's me, Jess, and I'm an opera singer. Today's video is going to be a performance analysis video on Miss Morissette Amon singing Shine on the Wish 107.5 bus. Let's go. That's a dope guitar. Yes.
Wish 107.5.
There I was alone in the shadows, couldn't find my way.
Yes.
But you came in and brought along the sunshine. Now you're here to stay. You make me shine, shine like the stars in the heavens. Shine, shine. You keep me shining through. Shine, shine with the light that you've given. It's true. I'm shining on all because of you.
Wow. Oh my God, this song is so pretty. The melody is gorgeous. Oh, and of course, she looks freaking fantastic. This whole idea of singing on a bus is actually really genius. I wish they had this somewhere in California. Okay, quite a few things to talk about. First thing is, I like how she's playing with an airier sound and then sometimes a much more fuller sound, let's say, in comparison to the airier sound that she's doing. So the very first word we heard was the word there. And when she sang through that word, you heard an incredible amount of air passing through. This is not a negative thing at all. This is a very utilized technique, especially in the pop and R&B genres.
Wish 107.5.
And it's a great way to start the song, especially a song like this. And so I admired hearing a very nice but still supported airy sound on that very first word. And then she used one of my favorite techniques where she stopped the sound but didn't take a breath to stop the sound. Instead, she just stopped the sound and then kept the phrase going with the actual melody.
Wish 107.5.
Such a good technique. One of my favorite things that an artist can do, but I like when artists do that sparingly, not all of the time. Fantastic job. I'd like to focus on the pauses and the breaks that she is taking within each sentence, right? Because with just about every song, there's going to be some breaks within the sentence. That's just how music works, and that's just how the structure of most songs go. And so what for me is important is to see the way that the artist is still engaged within those pauses, within those breaks. And I really admire all that Morissette is doing, because though she is taking several breaths, let's say within one grammatical sentence, she is keeping her focus within her face throughout each of those breaks. And for me, that is what keeps the storyline going, and that's what pieces all of the phrases together to make one sentence.
But you came in and brought along the sunshine. Now you're here to stay.
And to see her doing this continually through each and every break is actually really admirable. And I think something that a lot of singers can take note of, because it's so easy to just take a breath because you need a breath and kind of lose yourself within that pause and then just jump right back into when you're ready to sing. No, you actually need to keep the full storyline going, keep engaging, keep your focus throughout those breaks. Then lastly, she's doing a technique that's actually a little bit different than the videos that I've done on her before. And so far I've only seen this in the chorus. And what she is doing is she's actually closing off what would normally be, let's say, an open vowel on the higher notes within the chorus line. So the very first one I noticed was the word stars. The way that she sang stars on that higher note, because the word stars is on a higher note within the chorus. Normally, I feel like she would really open up her mouth to say that ah vowel in the word stars. But in this particular moment, she actually capped off and closed off that ah vowel and kept her mouth a little bit more on a lateral position.
Shine like the stars in the heavens.
And for my advanced singers, this can actually be super advantageous because what it does is it actually controls the volume for which the sound is going to come out, right? So I'm going to rewind a bit just so I can hear exactly what note that stars is on.
Shine like the stars in the heavens.
Yes. So what she is doing is she's actually capping off that open vowel, closing it just ever so slightly. And what that does is it controls a lot of volume coming out. Instead, it restricts that volume, but it also allows her to keep some of that chest voice up in that note. Like the star, like the stars. No, that would allow a lot of volume to come out. I'm not singing that in full chest voice, neighbors would kill me. But if you were to sing that in more chest voice with an open shaped mouth, that's going to allow a lot of volume to just escape through that mouth cavity that you're creating. But the way that she's capping off her open vowels on that upper note, it allows her to control that volume a lot more, which is actually quite genius because that also allows her to create some sort of a build or a climactic moment for when the chorus returns. And I'm going to take a wild guess and say that that's exactly what's going to happen. She's doing this right now in the very first chorus, restricting some of that volume, restricting some of that sound. And then when the chorus comes back around, I'm going to take a wild guess that she's going to open up these vowels much more, which will then allow a different dynamic to come out. We're gonna rewind and we're gonna pay attention to how she's singing those higher notes in the chorus with chest voice in those higher notes, but you hear her capping off or closing off those open vowels and using a slightly more closed mouth position to restrict the volume.
Now you're here to stay. You make me shine, shine like the stars in the heavens. Shine, shine, you keep me shining through. Shine, shine, with the light that you've given, it's true.
Nice.
I'm shining on all because of you.
So good. Oh, okay.
So watch me glow, a light shines within me. People ask me why,
Nice.
and I just smile and tell them you're the reason. I've cast the darkness aside.
Okay, we're gonna stop here. This is, I feel, going to be a very rare thing for me to say in my Morissette Amon performance analysis videos, but I'm gonna say it here. There's actually a couple of things I wish I would have heard differently. Don't come at me in the comment section. This is all subjective, and this is all just seriously personal preference. She still is a fantastic singer. First thing I wish that she would have done differently was I wish I would have heard more of a W in the very first line of this second verse. So let me look up the lyrics. So watch me go. I don't think that's right. I think she was saying, so watch me glow. Yes, I think those are the words. I think this genius.com has the wrong lyrics. That very first sentence, so watch me glow, that has two W's within one sentence. one case where a W starts the word and another case where the W ends the word. They just need a little bit extra love, right? It takes a little bit more effort to actually say a W so that it's clearly understandable. And I felt like I lost that touch in this one line. Now, there are several ways you can pronounce a W, and I actually explain this in my Chloe and Howley performance analysis, I think Moon River. There's a few ways that you can pronounce a W. The first way is you can allow a lot of air to escape before you actually say the word with the W. That starts with the W. This is a very classical way, by the way, and it would be something like, so watch. You can also utilize the diphthong in the W and sing on the very first vowel, so watch, right? You can really focus on going into the second vowel of that diphthong. You can use like vocal fry on a W, but it really only works if the W is at the beginning of the word. I feel it's much more distinctive that way, and that's not a classical thing to do, but that's very, very useful in, let's say, pop and R&B. So watch me go, you can do something like that. However, whichever way you decide to do, pay more attention to that W so that the words don't get kind of lost and scrambled all into one another. That was one thing. Then the second thing I wish I would have heard differently was the very last, I'm looking at the lyrics, the last line, I cast the darkness aside. I wish she wouldn't have taken a breath in between I've cast and the darkness aside.
I've cast the darkness aside.
I think it would be really nice to hear all of that in one fluid long line. I will have to say what I loved in this particular moment was her smile. She smiled in between a pause, I believe, that went into a phrase I think that talked about where she was smiling. Let's see. I think it was right here.
And I just smile
Here.
and tell them you're the reason.
And she continues to smile all the way into and tell them you're the reason. You all, it's actually pretty phenomenal how smiling can add a certain level of energy to someone's tone just by smiling alone. It's actually pretty crazy when you can really catch and notice those differences. She really tells the story on her face, and you're not second guessing really whether she actually believes the words that she's saying. No, I fully believe that she's in her moment and telling a story through her own words.
I just smile and tell them you're the reason. I've cast the darkness aside. You make me shine like the stars in the heavens. Shine, you keep me shining through.
Yes, exactly what I was talking about. You hear how much more volume is allowed to escape now that she's singing the chorus a second time and actually opening up those vowels a lot more in comparison to the very first time she sang the chorus. You see her mouth cavity in a very different shape than when she was singing the first chorus. Here, she has a really nice open mouth cavity. You hear those vowels coming out in a much more open way, and she's even adding some brightness on the word shine. There was one time she sang shine, and it sounded so good.
Shine, you keep me shining through.
Where's the chef's kiss emoji already? Dang it.
Shine, you keep me shining through.
Yes.
Shine, with the light that you've given, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm shining on,
Yeah.
all because of you. Like a ray light.
squeak. Did you hear that high squeak? Oh, I love how she's bringing more of her cracking factor into her voice now. Perfect timing. You got this climactic build. I heard some rasp in one of the notes. It sounded so good. You all, the journey from the soft and subtlety at the very beginning to now this is just so nice to hear. I got to re-listen to that last note because I don't know if that was intentional, if she was trying to do a crack, a semi-whistle tone. I don't know what it was, but it was really, really, really cool.
You keep me shining through. Shine, shine with the light that you've given. It's true. I'm shining on all because of you. With the light that you've given. It's true. I'm shining on all because I you make me shine.
Wishclusive on Wish 1075.
My God, she is so good. She is so freaking good. My God, I really don't know how to express just how great of a singer she is. It's mind-blowingly good, you all. I don't know what training she's had. I don't know who she currently studies with, but it's admirable. It's admirable. I have to say I have the absolute utmost respect for her technique and her sound overall. It sounds so polished, so refined. It sounds mature. It sounds healthy. Yeah. If you liked all that you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and comment down below what video should be next for Miss Morissette. You all, I can't keep up. She is just so good. I can't even imagine what else she can do. I feel like I've heard it all, but let me know if I haven't. Just comment down below what should be next. Also, make sure you turn on that bell notification so you know every time I put up a video on YouTube and for when I go live. If you'd like to keep in touch with me, I'll leave my Discord link down in the description box below, as well as my Patreon. My Patreon only starts at $3 a month, and I have very exclusive perks just for you patrons. If you'd like to book a voice lesson with me, I'll leave my booking link in the description box below as well. I've also got a feature where you can sponsor your own video. If you're interested, you can click the link down below, and that link will take you directly to my webpage where we will go through the process of getting your favorite artist out on my channel quickly. And last but not least, I started a new channel where I talk about travel, vlogging, lifestyle, self-growth, and self-worth. If you'd like to check that out, I'll leave the link right here. I hope you'll have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!